This video we're going to look at a circles question. This would be for AS1 mathematics. So it says a circle is given by the equation x squared minus 2x plus y squared plus 4y equals 4. Find the center and the radius. So I'm just going to write that formula down. It was x squared minus 2x plus y squared plus 4y is equal to 4. Now there's two ways we can do this. Both ways really involve this thing. Well, the first way we're going to use is by completing the square. So I'm going to write all my x squared terms together. I'm just going to group them, and then my y terms together and group them. And what I'm going to do is complete the square. So if I complete the square in here, what you do is half the coefficient of this, and that gives you minus 1. And then it becomes x minus 1 all squared. But if you do that out, that means you would have an extra minus 1 squared term. So you've got to put a minus 1 squared on the right hand side. Same for this one here. If we complete the square here, that becomes y plus 2 squared. But that would give you an extra 2 squared term on the left hand side. So you've got to add in an extra 2 squared term. That would give you an extra 2 squared term on the left hand side, so you'd have to add in an extra 2 squared on the right hand side. So you've now got x minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared is equal to, and then that's going to be 4 plus 4, which is 8, and then plus another 1, which is going to be equal to 9. So the center is, I should have said the equation. Let's go for that first of all. The general equation of a circle is the following. So the general equation of a circle is x minus a all squared plus y minus b all squared is equal to r squared. R is the radius and the center is AB. So center AB and the radius equal to r. So for R1, for this thing up here, the center it's minus a, so that's the a then is 1, and that could be written as minus 2. So the center of our circle would be, so I'll just do that in blue. The center of our circle is going to be 1 minus 2, and the radius is going to be equal to the square root of 9, which is going to be equal to 3. Okay, that is one way of doing this question. If you like that way, fantastic. Skip through to the next part of the question. If there's another method of doing this, which is using a different formula. So there's another formula for the equation of a circle, which is this: x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equals 0. And that, if you write your circle in that form, the center is minus g minus f. Just learn that off. It's a tricky enough proof of where that comes from. And the radius is the square root of g squared plus f squared minus c. I think I'm one of the last people still teaching this method. I have to say I much prefer it in many instances. It really is much easier at times. Okay, so let's rearrange our equation to get it in this same form. So I'm going to write my equation as x squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 4y minus 4 equals 0. So I've brought everything, written the x squared term, then the y squared term. Then I have brought the 4 across as well. So then you can read off then, 2g is the thing that's multiplying the x. So 2g equals minus 2. So just write that in. 2g equals minus 2, which means g is equal to minus 1, which means minus g is equal to plus 1. My 2f is the thing multiplying the y. So 4 is equal to the 2f. So 2f equals 4, which means f is equal to 2, which means minus f is equal to minus 2. And your c is a bit on its own. So c is equal to minus 4. So the center is minus g minus f. So 1 minus 2. And the radius, I'm just going to write that down again. It's g squared plus f squared minus c, the square root of all that. So in this case, it's going to be, my g was minus 1 squared plus my f, which was positive 2 squared, and then minus my c, which was minus 4. And if you did that out, you would get 1 plus 4 plus 4, which is root 9, which is square root of 9, which is 3 again. So you can see you've got the same answers as you had done, doing it a different way. Right, so we're going to look at the rest of this question. Second part, it says, a tangent is drawn to the circle from the point A, which is 5, 6. The tangent touches a circle at B as shown in the figure 3 below. Find the length of AB. So let's just mark on what we know. Our A was a point 5, 6, and we're also going to mark on the centre. The centre of this circle, and there's a radius there as well, and the radius and the radius meets the tangent at a right angles, remember. And the radius, the centre, sorry, was 1 minus 2. Okay, we'll call that C for centre. Okay, it says find the length of AB. Now remember, in the first part of the question we also had that the radius of this circle was 3. So we could find this distance out. We could find out the distance AC quite easily, and then we've got a right angle triangle. We could just use Pythagoras. So I'm just going to find my distance AC. So AC from your coordinate geometry formulas, and I would write that as x difference squared plus my y difference squared, and it's the square root of that. So it's basically by Pythagoras, you're finding the distance between A and C. So to find that, I'll start with I'll do 6 minus 2, and then that's getting squared, and then plus 5 minus 1, and that's getting squared, and we'll square root. So we square root, and we've got 6 minus 2 just becomes 8. That's 8 squared. 5 minus 1 is just 4, and that gets squared. So if we square root that whole thing, you've got 8 squared, which is 64, plus the 4 squared, which is 16. And if you add those both, you get root of 80. Right, I'm just going to leave it as root 80. That's perfect. We'll use that now for the next bit. So our AC is root 80. Let's just draw a wee diagram again. You've got your B, your A, and that was 3, your radius. That was your C. You've now worked out your AC is root 80. That's the right angle there. So root 80 is your hypotenuse. I'll call this X. This is what I really want to find in this question. So we just say root of 80 all squared. You can see why I've left it in third form is equal to x squared plus 3 squared. Root of 80 squared just gives you 80. X squared plus 9. That means 71 equals x squared, which means your x is equal to the square root of 71. And just do that on your calculator to see what you get. If you square root 81, I've got 8.43, and that's going to be just units to 2 decimal places.